Welcome to the Sip and Chat. This is Love Marlene 411, where we speak about relationships and trauma healing, elevation, and very important conversations. And welcome to the Sip and Chat, where myself and my wonderful co-host, Miss Nexie, we talk about important conversations every single Thursday. So if you're new here, subscribe to this channel and hit the like. Welcome to all of you loved ones. Welcome to today's podcast. Today we have a very important discussion, and we have Miss Puzzle Pieces, Miss Nexie. My co-host is in the chat. Welcome, Miss Nexie. How are you doing? And we have Miss 702. How are you doing? Welcome to everyone who is here. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. And before my co host comes up, I have to say, how are you sippers doing? What are you sipping on today? Today, I just have a regular cup of hot tea. My tummy doesn't feel so good today. Whatever. You know, when the weather changes, it's like it's cold and then it's hot and it's rainy. It affects my stomach. I'm weird or whatever. But it's all good. So I have my simple hot tea that I'm sipping, my hot peppermint tea, and I'm going to be sipping on that. So I'm waiting on my co-host, and then I'm going to start today's topic. So I did want to say thank you so much to all of you loved ones for the goal. The goal has been reached. We're on to the next goal. It just surpassed the 1,400 goal. So I have 1,400 wonderful loved ones. Shout out to all of my loved ones here on Love Marlene 411. I really do appreciate each and every one of you for your support, for your kindness, for all of those things. It really does mean so much to me. I am very grateful. And I couldn't do this without you because, yes, I have a channel, I have a wonderful co host, I have other wonderful content creators that support me over here with their conversations, but it's by you all watching and viewing and all of you loved ones. And shout out to all my channel members. While I'm waiting for my co host, I'm going to give a shout out to all my channel members. My channel members are Kicking It with the Rooks, Ashanti and Vino. And we have Mike the Ranger 92308. And we also have Ranger 92308. And we have Miss Nixie, Miss Puzzle Pieces. So those are my channel members. Shout out to them. I really do appreciate every single one of you for supporting me and supporting this channel. So today we're going to be talking about forbidden love. And when my co-host comes up, I'm going to get into more of it. But I think it's important to talk about this topic. This was definitely not on my radar before, but Miss Nexie came up with this very wonderful topic. And basically, we're going to be talking today about those who get involved in relationships and the parents do not approve. And it's not like now, it's not like in certain places in the United States um, where, okay, the parents don't approve and then it ends. In many other cultures, many other countries, when the parents don't approve, some other things happen, which I will be talking about in a little bit more detail when Miss Nexie comes up. But I've heard it many times in many cases from the court cases. I've seen it on TV, but nobody really knows the insides of living in this, having the dangers that can happen within those who are in these relationships, these forbidden love, and the things that happen to them because they choose the relationship. And Many feel that if you choose this person, then your family means nothing to you. And also for some, it's the religion too. If you don't choose to be in that religion, if you don't choose to marry who they want to marry, and you choose to select someone outside of the religion, outside of the culture, also outside of the race, because that's a big thing and a big deal, that there are many who do not stay within the race, and it causes many, many issues for the relatives. It causes many, many issues for so many people. And I have to say, I'm going to turn this off. Just I think it's so important to go into this topic. It's a great topic to cover. It's a great thing to talk about because many of us. I want to know if you guys can hear me because I was not hearing myself in the other live stream. So I want to make sure that I'm gone. So okay, it's finally on. Okay. I was in with two StreamYards. Something weird is happening with StreamYards today, but we're going to continue on. Um, there are many people who are in relationships, and it's not like here or in, you know, the United States, maybe the UK, Canada, other places where there's more freedoms. In certain countries, the family chooses who you date, who you marry, who you get involved with, what your religion is going to be. And if you don't go along with that, it's not going to be good for you. It really is. It really is not going to be good for you. And I feel really sad. I feel really sad for the family members. I feel really sad for the people who are in the relationship. I can't imagine not being able to choose who I want to be in a relationship with. And I do understand the point of the parents being very cognizant, being very aware of a person that you date or somebody that you choose to marry. But then that's really basically the end of it. I've never had any more than that. Yes, I've had parents that have got very involved in who I was dating because they were trying their best to protect me, but they didn't go to the extent to where what I was doing was forbidden, and it was not going to be accepted or received. And I can't imagine how that would make a child feel, how it would make a daughter feel, how it would make a son feel knowing that they have to sneak around all the time. They have to sneak around to be in the relationship. They have to sneak to date. They have to sneak to everything. And it goes to a further extent from the just the parents disapproving. It goes to more, and it gets to be very uncomfortable, very weird, and then it gets to the danger zone. And when it gets to the danger zone of having a mom or a dad or a relative try to bring harm to you because you've chosen a relationship. And I've seen some of these things on the internet that has what they call mercy unaliving, right? because we can't say the KILLING. We can't say that word on YouTube because they will strike your channel. But it's very important to know about these. Because we have to. We have to bring awareness, and until we bring awareness to these topics, we're not going to come to a resolution. And I really don't think that it's a resolution, because it's not something that's happening within our country very often. I know that it takes place at sometimes, because they leave and they come to this country, and then they have people come to the country and follow them and unalive them. But I mean, it's happening more so in other countries, mainly in the Middle East and India. That's where the majority of these crimes are taking place. But for them, it's not a crime. It's bringing respect to your culture, because they feel that the family, their religion, has been disrespected, that they didn't follow the guidelines, they haven't followed the rules, they have not done what they need to do when it comes to following their culture, and respecting their family. And respect goes a long way. It really does. And we have to understand that certain cultures are being displayed, and not every culture, I want to say that not every culture is disrespecting, their parents or whatever. But we have to understand that we are bringing awareness. When we talk about these topics, we're bringing awareness to what is a very hidden, topic. Many people don't talk about it because it's very dangerous. And there are a lot of issues that come with it when you make a decision to get out of the religion, get out of the marriage. And I feel sad for the the all the friends of those who get unalived by their parents because of these unalivings, because of choosing someone in a relationship. It really and truly makes me so sad to know that some family members will do something like this. But for them, that's avenging their creator. They say that that's now justice has been had, because they have disrespected their elders, they have disrespected their religion, they have disrespected their parents, they're not following the traditions that they need to follow, and this is what ensues. Now, there's not really much that we can do about it, but one thing that is for sure is that the friends, the family members, and the relatives of those who have to live on after, they have to live on after these senseless crimes. My heart goes out to them. My heart truly does. And I put my condolences out to anyone who has ever lost a loved one to the violence of being in a relationship with someone who chooses forbidden love. So I see my co-host, Miss Nexie, here in the background. So let's welcome her to the Sip and Chat. Hello,
Hello, Miss Marlene. Can you hear me? Oh my God, I've been trying to get in
Miss
for the.
Nexie.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello.
Uh,
Oh, now
Hello,
my
Miss
volume.
Marlene. Can you hear me?
Did you guys did you guys hear anything I was saying?
Yes. It kept on going in and
Because
out, Miss
you
Marlene.
did?
Yeah, but it kept on
Oh,
like breaking.
because
I've been
okay.
trying to. I don't know what's wrong with
Okay.
StreamYard today. I don't know what's wrong, but
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I've been trying to get into the chat and it kept on kicking me out, kicking me out, kicking me out. And I was like, oh my God. So
Yeah,
hopefully
yeah.
it will let
That's
me
why I
stay.
couldn't start. It took me 10 minutes to go into StreamYards. I was like, okay. So, into
I wonder,
you.
maybe it's
Hi,
the
Miss.
weather.
I don't know. We'll just
Hello, Miss Marlene.
it's just StreamYard. Hello, Miss Nexa.
How are you, Miss Marlene?
I am doing just fine. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Miss Nexie, you know what I have to ask you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm
Mm.
waiting. I'm waiting.
Miss Nexie, what are you sipping on?
A boring cup of coffee.
Oh, one of these days you're gonna do something and say like, "I'm
I'm gonna
having
shock
a
you.
mimosa. Yeah, I'm gonna and my shock factor, and that's when I'm gonna have to remove my banner and show my face and go, say what?
No, and mind you, okay, this is still my morning coffee. So I haven't done anything else. Like I was just like so nervous because I was trying to get in and it will allow me in and then it will kick me out of the link and then I'll try again and it will kind of allow me to do it but then it will kick me out of the
Um, your voice went.
Hello.
It went. Okay, it's back
Ah.
again. Oh, it's so much fun today.
Hello, Miss Marley.
I'm here. I'm here. Do you hear me? Oh no. StreamYards is being very fun, everybody. So I don't know if I'll have to end this and come back and do this through YouTube. I don't know. I'm gonna ask Miss Nexie if we Miss Nexie, what do you think if I end this and do this
Oh,
again through YouTube?
um, I don't know. Can you hear me?
I hear you just fine.
Can you hear me, Miss Marley?
Uh-huh. I hear you.
Oh, okay, okay. I don't know what's
I hear
going on. It's
you.
you. What do you mean, YouTube?
Yeah,
Right?
no, just through the app, and and we could do a go live together. But I
Oh,
don't know. Oh, go no, no, no. Go live. You have to be on camera. Never mind. Forget it. We're just gonna roll with it.
yeah. Actually, yeah. Let's just try it like this, and then we'll do it next time on
Yeah,
YouTube Live and
we'll
see
try
what
it another
happens.
time. Yeah, we'll
Yes.
try it another
Okay.
time.
Yes, ma'am. We
So,
will.
Miss, okay.
But let me tell you. So my boring cup of coffee. Next time I'm gonna
Mhm.
say, oh, I'm having a amaretto with on the rocks, and that's when you're gonna freak out. You'll be like an amaretto at 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Okay, if you say so. That's fine because it actually is 5:30 here in Florida, so it would
Exactly.
be appropriate for during the time. Yeah.
It will be appropriate for you,
So,
but not for me because it's
well,
only like 2:30 my time.
as long for me, as long as it's not like 4 a.m. 5 a.m., you're okay with having, yeah, that would be fine.
That is true, Miss Marlene.
So,
That
Miss
is so true.
Nexie, today's topic. Today's topic, Miss Nexie, we're going to get into this serious part about forbidden love, right? And many people, unfortunately, are in relationships, but it's not something that they can be free to be themselves, to like who they like, to be with who they want to be with. And it is forbidden love because the culture that they come from, the religion that they come from, they're not allowed to be in this relationship. I'm going to
They're not
let
free to,
you say what you want to say.
like, they're not free to pursue the particular love, you mean, right?
Right.
Yeah, there is a lot of
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's a lot of for me. It's very confusing. Maybe because it wasn't something I grew up in. A culture that I grew up in, and here we have the freedom to choose who we love. We have that right and that given freedom to choose who we want to love, who we marry, who we date, who we end up with. So for me, it's a kind of a topic that it's close to my heart because I've seen so many people, friends at work and at school, end up with people that they don't even love just because your family has chosen this particular person for you, or because you have no other choice than to do that, or you may lose, you may be unalive because you have to honor your family's wishes, your parents. You have to make sure that they're standing in the community and in the family and whatever it is that you're from, that their standing is good. So you have to sacrifice, your happiness. Sometimes it's a heavy price to pay because you end up with someone that is abusive, or you know what I mean, because of this
Yeah.
particular way of thinking.
Yeah. And I couldn't think of the term that you were telling me later. I know it's unaliving, but what's the proper term for it when the parents unalive the children?
I think it's called honor unaliving. you're you know
Honor
you're
unaliving, yeah.
yeah, you're recovering your honor because this person did that. And again, that's something that is foreign to me. Like, it's a language I don't understand because as a parent myself, having 4 children, I cannot even imagine, not even crosses my mind that it could be possible for me to do something like that to my child. For honor of
Mm.
what?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it, it's
It's
it's something that is so foreign and strange. It just does not make any sense to us, but it's what is happening on a
but it makes
regular
sense to them.
basis because so many. Go ahead, Miss Nexie.
Oh, no, no, I'm saying it makes sense to them because that is the way they're brought up. Because it's not just
Hmm.
the fathers that do this, it's the mothers as well. But because it's the way they're being brought up, is that you have to do everything that the parent tells you to do, and you have to honor all of their wishes, whether it goes with you or not. So mothers are also in the same, honor unaliving. They're in cahoots with the fathers because that's the way they're being brought up, and it has been embedded in their mind that that's the only way to achieve, or bring back, honor to their family,
Right.
or
I'm
regain
just
that
going to
respect.
read the definition of. I'm going to read the definition of it because I just looked it up. I put it on the screen for everybody so that you can see. it says that in certain cultures, the unaliving of a relative, especially a girl or a woman who is perceived to have brought dishonor to the family, is also defined as homicide of a member of a family or a social group by other members due to the belief that the victim has brought dishonor upon the family. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the things that,
It's
you know, to us it sounds so foreign and strange and all of those things, but it's because we're not in that culture. We don't understand until you're in it, but that's what it is.
exactly. Again, it's something that they're brought up with. You know, they're brought up into this belief that, you know, you're supposed to follow um, every rule that your culture has, right? And even if you go to another country, you still have to follow certain rules so that the honor of your family in your country of birth or where your parents were born at can remain, you know, in good standing, can remain pure, can remain whatever it is that is supposed to do to, you know, to their honor. But for me, it's something that I cannot even imagine. You know, as a woman, I cannot imagine my parents picking who I marry. I cannot even imagine risking being unalive because I fell in love with the wrong person. I cannot, you know, again, as a woman, I cannot imagine living with someone that is twice my age just because my parents picked this person. It's
Mm-hmm.
unbelievable, and it's unfathomable for me to see myself in something like that. But then again, for them, it's, you know, it's no big deal because that's how they grew up.
Yeah,
And
that's
coming
how they
here,
that's
mm-hmm.
how they grew up and that's their culture. And you know, that's just the same thing like when people come to this country and they see things that we do that they think is strange or weird. um Everybody has something that's different, but my whole issue is the whole thing that people are being unalived because they've chosen somebody that they love.
Yeah, again, it's, you know, it's funny because I remember watching a documentary a while ago. Don't ask me the name because I won't. I cannot tell you for my life. I cannot remember the name of the documentary, but I remember that it made an impact on me because, you know, this women are running away from their mother and father because, you know, they can not find any other way of getting to them, that they don't want to marry somebody else. I mean, that they have chosen, that they want to, you know, have the ability to choose for themselves. So they run away. They have to escape like in the middle of the night and stuff like that and be hidden for a while, or they will hunt them down, you know, to unalive them because they feel betrayed. And I was shocked to learn of something like that as a woman and as a mother even more because, you know, on this documentary I know that the father and the both the father and mother were in the car when the kids were unalived, the girls were unalived, and she was okay with it, and the son was okay with it too. So it's sad that it's an entire culture attacking a woman, her given right to choose. It's so sad. So it made a great impact, and that's when I started looking into this. And I thought it was just, you know, oh, that's why it turned into a documentary because it was a big deal, right? They were so shocked that you know, they made turn it into this, but no, it happens more often than we like to know.
Yeah, because it's hidden. You know, things that happen in foreign countries, you know, it is, you know, that we'll say, well, that's not here, so it doesn't matter. But you know what I was looking at on the internet just recently is some people who get unalived, and you know, they call that a homicide. Yeah, and we feel that it's, somebody, whoever, whoever person, but it's their own family. It's a lot of crimes that are committed that's what it is. These honor unalivings, and it's not like looking for a suspect. It's their own family.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and I don't know. It's just for me, it was something that I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't understand. Like, why would you unalive your child because she doesn't want to follow your command of marrying? I mean, you're in, and what was more like puzzling to me, Marlene, is that they were in this country. You know what I mean? They were leaving here. It wasn't like they were leaving back home, whatever. I don't want to say where they were from because, I don't want to create, we don't want to talk politics here, right? But they were not in their country. They were
Hmm.
here and they were going to send their daughters back home. They had already picked the husbands and everything. And because they were too English now or too Americanized or whatever you want to call it, and they don't want to follow. That's why they had to be gone. They had to be unalive. And it saddens me because you're still following that belief when you're here. Like, wow, how powerful is that? How powerful it is, the mind of someone, the mindset.
Yes.
It was
Hello,
unbelievable
Kitty.
for me. I am so sorry, Marlene. She is just, I'm trying to kick her out of my room. And I'm she's following me. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But
Welcome to the
yeah,
show, Kitty.
yeah. Welcome to the show, darkness. The mind control and that this setting has of these people,
Uh-oh.
how it's set in them, it's embedded in them. It's just
Okay,
so weird.
you're back.
Am I back? Ah, don't kick me out, StreamYard. No, I'm saying their mindset, the control, and it's generational. It's not just the one time or the one, family member. It's been happening from generation to generation to generation. And the thing is that it's only done to
Yeah.
women. It's not done to men. Men, yeah, men can be forced to get married to someone, but it's mostly because, it's a woman. They're the ones that are forced the most.
Oh no. Okay.
Can
Yeah.
you hear me?
Yeah, I know that makes me so. Yeah, it was going in and out really bad, but
Yes, I know.
it is what it is.
It
Mhm.
is what it
This is
is.
a struggle stream tonight.
Yes.
um, yeah. But I want to say hi to Nancy, hi to Oliver's. Everybody,
Oh,
welcome to the show.
hello, everybody. Hi, Nancy. Hi, it's Oliveros.
Yeah, Oliver's.
Okay, Oliver's. Okay. Hi,
Yeah.
everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. But yeah, and again, it's not that we're not doing it to bring shame upon anybody, any race. What we're doing is for awareness, as we do everything else in this, in our podcasts. We like to bring awareness, right, to certain things because they have been happening for so many years. And instead of getting better, you're thinking, as time progresses, technology progresses, education advances as well, things are going to change. But you know what? They
Yeah.
don't. They don't. And that is the saddest thing
You know,
because, go on, Miss Marty.
honestly, Miss Nexie, I feel that it's gotten worse because now we're able to realize and trace what is actually happening. And that makes
Mm.
me really sad that for many years we think that certain things are what do you call cold cases and we don't really understand. But now, with the tracing and fingerprints and DNA and all of these things, we're able to find out. that it wasn't just someone unalive them or a homicide or a suicide. It's that they are taken out by their own family members because they choose love over following religion or following culture.
Exactly. And the thing is, I think is the reason why a lot of them have this honor unalivings is because how dare you as a woman, how dare you not follow my command? I'm the man of the house, I'm your father, so how dare you not follow as
Mm-hmm.
I say? Even though that we are in in a progressive country, and girls, women here, we can be whatever we want to be, right, compared to other cultures, and I'm grateful for that. But they are here, they want to adhere to the culture here, but unfortunately, because of those um, for their upbringing, the parents upbringing, they don't allow them to be all that they can be.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
this when I saw this documentary, it was so shocking to me because it was daytime that this man, unalived his daughter in front of everybody. It wasn't in private. No, no, no. He did it in front of a lot of people. And there were two or three cases they were doing this documentary on. And and the other one, the mom, the only son, and the dad were in cahoots, and four girls died. I mean, got unalived. I'm sorry. Four girls got
mm-hmm.
unalived because of this honor thing. And I get it. We all have our little quirks, our little things in our cultures. I understand that. But I feel that, awareness is necessary to be brought up to the front line, because this shouldn't be happening. You know what I mean? This shouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
happening to this day. That should stop. A woman, a girl has the same rights as any man does. And we're not bashing our men either. We're just saying we have the same rights, or we should
Mm-hmm.
if we don't yet. And it's upset for me. It's very sad and upsetting because I will never do that to my girls. I will never do that to my daughters. I will never stop them from doing what makes them happy, or unalive them because they're not following my culture, my country that I haven't been back to in 20 years, because they're not honoring that. I'm going to unalive them, or I'm going to harm them in any way, or force them into a marriage that they don't even know this person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It saddens me very much that things like this are still happening.
Yeah, and things like this are happening every single day. We don't know about them, and they're covered up. Most of the time, they're big officials in their country, so they have a lot of weight that they can put around. They have a lot of money, so lots of things are hidden up and covered. Very sad to know that in today's society, we're in 2024 and we're talking about honor unaliving. And it sounds like something very foreign and weird and like, oh no, like, what are you talking about? These things are happening every day and not just in foreign countries. Right here in the United States, honor killings, well, I shouldn't say the word, but it's hard not to sometimes. It's
It's hard not to
but
say it, Miss Marlene.
the honor unalivings are happening because of the culture, and there's no respect for girls. I feel really sad to know that in certain cultures that having a girl is a very sad thing.
Yes,
There,
I've
yeah.
heard of that too. That it's not in some cultures having a girl, firstborn, it's not a celebration. It's
Mm,
actually a very sad day for the entire family. But if, a son is born, then a huge party is thrown in honor of the son who
mhm.
was just born. And it's really sad. It's really sad because, again, we have to be able to celebrate both.
Mhm.
A girl or a boy, it should be a celebration, because how many people out there cannot actually have any? So,
Mhm.
regardless of what culture you're from, it should be a celebration every day to be able to have a child,
Yeah.
regardless of
Yeah.
what.
Right. And I agree, Miss Nancy, that it is awful. And wow, it is shocking. And I say this, I don't push, spiritual beliefs on anybody, but my thinking, not Miss Nexie or anybody who is in the chat, but it's my belief that God sees everything. And I know that it saddens him what is happening. And in his time, he's going to bring all matters to justice. But we just have to be patient and wait. That's my personal belief. I'm not telling you or Miss Nexie or anybody in the chat to believe that. But that's my personal belief that certain things only God can handle.
Yeah, and he is. The fact that we are able to see them now, we're able to talk about them, we're able to shine a light into what's happening, and it's not hush hush anymore. That we're actually bringing people to justice now when they do things like this. This trio of mother, son, and father, they are, they're put away for the rest of their lives. And that's already, God is already taking care of it, because we're able, like I said, to be a beacon for others to realize that that is not something that should still exist to this day. You know what I
It
mean?
should.
That we should not dictate who somebody has to love, or because of your particular honor, this person has to sacrifice. Why don't you sacrifice? You know what I mean? Why don't you take the plunge for your family? I mean, if that's the case. And the worst thing is that they sometimes are not the best marriages. There's a
Mhm.
lot of DV in it. You know what I mean?
Oh yes, Miss
Sometimes
Ness.
these people are twice, three times the age of the child,
Mhm.
because they are little children when supposedly they're given into this so-called honor marriages. So we have to be, more vocal about it. We have to make sure that, we cannot control what happens in other countries. That's a given. We can't, but we can control what happens here.
Mhm.
You know what I
And
mean?
we
And the
should,
fact that it's still happening.
and there should be more support. Like when people will say, "Oh, that's their business." It's like some people are very insensitive because they've never experienced other cultures. Um, you can't help what family you're born into.
No, and it's not just
You're
their
just alive
business.
one day. Yeah.
It's our business. It's not just their business. It's our business, because it's our country. It's our people. You know what I mean? They're our children. It's not just somebody else's child. The fact that we have to keep on telling people, if you see something, say something, that tells me a lot about what's been going on. I've said it before. I sing like a canary. I cannot stay quiet. No, 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 no. So don't tell me anything that you don't want the pop to know. Because
Exactly.
I'll be singing like a little canary. If I see something, I do something about it. I take care of it. I report. I don't keep it to myself. I get involved, because, I come from a country where, people weren't doing that. People were just staying quiet, and a lot of bad things happen. So no, you have to get involved. If you want a better place, a better country, a better life, a better everything, you need to be responsible and get involved. And I don't mean go ahead and fight them. I mean report it. Tell
Mhm.
somebody. Don't just say it's somebody else's problem. It's not my culture. It's not affecting me, because it is affecting you, because those are our children.
But a lot of people don't feel that way because, it's one of those things like out of sight, out of mind. It's like they see it, but they act like they don't see it.
Exactly, exactly. And the thing is, a lot of people, when I first started in the industry that I worked in, that people will tell me you feel too much, but don't worry, as time goes by you're gonna get desensitized, you're not gonna feel a thing anymore. And I will tell them, you're wrong. That will never be me. I will never be able to not feel somebody else's pain. That's not what I am. That's not who I am. And they will say, just give it time. Just give it time. And guess what? It never changed. I don't. I still feel the pain. I still feel compassion. I still feel all of those things for the people I take care of. You
Hmm.
cannot be that type of person, because the minute you do that, you lose your humanity. You
That's what I'm.
lose your calling. You lose what you were there for, to be compassionate, to alleviate pain, to do whatever it takes to make this person better. So for me is the fact that, like I said, we have to say, if you see something, say something. The fact that we have to tell you that is so wrong. That should be common
Mhm.
sense.
It should be. But a lot of people don't want to get involved because, with that comes, they don't want to, okay, if this is happening to somebody and look, they're about to get unalived, I don't want to be involved because I don't want to get unalived. It's one of those
Call the
things.
popo.
Yeah. Um,
That's
I
simple
have,
as
there's a
that.
question from the audience for you. There's a
Oh,
question from the audience, Miss Nexie, from Nancy. She's asking, where are you from, Nexie?
El Salvador. From El Salvador.
There you
And
go,
I had
Miss
not said
Nick.
it. I had not said it, Miss Nancy. Not on this one, but I've said it before. But yes, I'm from El Salvador. Very, very tiny, tiny little country in between a lot of others.
Yeah, and what a lot of people don't realize is that it's very important to talk about topics like this. And I know that it's a very uncomfortable conversation, that it is a trigger warning, and it makes some people feel uncomfortable and all of those things. But, just because something makes you feel uncomfortable doesn't mean you shouldn't talk about it.
Exactly. There you go, Miss Marlene. The most important topics are very uncomfortable to talk about, especially because they are topics that not many people want to touch. And when it comes to the topic of today, is something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. There's been so many things that I have seen, in my career that have happened to little girls, that for me is important to continue to bring it up, bring it up, bring it up, like a broken record, right?
Mhm.
Even though a lot of people are not going to know what that means, but like a broken record. But the importance of this is that it doesn't just stay with us. We have a platform that it goes very, very far away. And again, we're not shaming anyone. That's not what we're doing. We're not trying to bring shame to anybody's culture. We're not trying to um, bring shame to victims or parents of victims. What we're trying to do is we're trying to bring awareness that you shouldn't have to be unalived because you don't matter to those that are supposed to be the ones that care the most for you.
Yeah. It's
And
it's supposed to be acceptance for all genders.
Yes, and again, you know, for me is scary enough to jump into a relationship, right? A marriage is something that it has to be thought about. You have to make sure that you marry the right person so that it can be a happy union and everything. Imagine if somebody picks for you.
Mhm.
Imagine you don't even have not even met this person, and then you find out that the person is 20 years your senior, and then you go into it by doing whatever you're supposed to do, and you end up in a hellish marriage. It's something that
Mhm.
we need to think about. We have, as parents, for me, I have no right to tell my daughters who they should and should not marry. That's their choice. But if I see that, somebody 20 years their seniors coming around, I'm gonna grab my broom. I'm gonna chase him away with a broom. And you know what I mean? Like, but I have no right, even if they pick that person. But I only have the right to understand and to support my child picking that person to get married, because it's not something that I can do for them
Mm.
and should do
Yeah.
for them.
It's one of those things that, as parents, I would think that, I did a good enough job to where my child should feel comfortable talking to me about anything. If a child feels that they have to run behind your back to be in a relationship, that's not, mm-mm. That's, to
Mm-mm.
me, that makes me sad. Like, you couldn't tell me you're in a relationship. Like,
Yeah.
that to me, that will bring more pain to me. Like, but
And a lot
every culture.
of, Marlene, and that's the thing. When we're in, I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's just a thought that I had right now because of what you said. But in this culture that we're talking about, I mean, in this rich, honor unalivings and stuff like that, it doesn't just happen when you don't accept. It happens their entire life, Marlene. They control them at schools. If they have brothers or uncles that are older, they're watching their every step. They don't allow them to talk to other boys. They don't allow them to get close to friends. They don't allow them to do any of those things. And it's sad. Imagine all that um, abuse, because that is a form of abuse, right?
Hmm.
All that anguish that these poor girls go through because they cannot even have a crush on anyone. Oh, no, no, no. That is stopped right away. They go to their schools, their high schools, their middle schools, and they don't do it in elementary because I guess they're younger. But in junior high and high school, they're on top of it. If they have brothers, the brothers are telling the parents everything these girls do. They cannot have boyfriends or guy friends,
Hmm.
nevertheless a boyfriend, because it's
Hmm.
they grab them and they fly back home and marry them over there. So it's a very sad, it's a form of child abuse. And I don't mean in the other content of an right? I'm talking about parent to child, that form of abuse, and the persecution, the fact that you cannot have any friends, any guys that are your friends because you're not supposed to, that you're constantly on guard. That's PTSD right away for those poor kids, for these poor girls. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, teachers are not sometimes qualified to know, to read the signs or know these particular things. So, and these girls are not going to come to a teacher and tell them because they're too afraid. So education for this type of cases, Marlene, should be, all around us. Teachers, counselors, school principals, vice principals,
Yeah, and
TAs.
next it all goes back to, and paying attention to the young ones. Someone that, if you see something, like you said, talk about it, like what's happening, especially the kids. If you see that they're being, not treated in the right way, or they look disheveled and dirty. There, that's signs that something is going on at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you see that,
And
the little girl is talking to a guy friend and the brother comes over and, stops that, you have to find out why. Don't just say, oh, that's her brother and it's okay. No, find out why. Are you okay? You know what I mean? But again, we have to re-educate ourselves when it comes to these things. We need to look into, the signs of it, what's going on. I've seen so many educators that get involved and are so good at reading the kids and find out exactly what's going on, by just looking into their students and finding out and talking to them and trying to, dig out a little bit more. Then, and I've seen others that they just don't get it. They don't care. Or they don't
yep.
have the wits to kind of see those little signs.
Yeah,
But,
and that
in
makes
the
me.
medical field, a lot of people get involved, right? When you're in a hospital, you know how it goes. We're all looking
Mhm.
for those weird signs on people. I I'm one of them. I'm always looking around because you need to kind of like gauge their behavior. Why is he here and not her mom, or why is his dad here and not his mom? So you need to kind of like, you know look at things in a total different way. Check out their bodies and see if there's any bruises. If they're wearing long sleeves with, high necks in the summertime, find out why. And if you see them distressed or not engaging with friends, find out why that is. There's always a
Mhm.
reason, because kids are happy. They play all the time. They're always happy. They always have a lot of friends around. So if that little person is recluse, find out why it is. Or if you
Yeah.
see that every time the brother comes along, they get all nervous. And when the parents are there, they get all nervous too. Find out why.
Yep. And I have to highlight this comment from Nancy. She says that I believe it's important to have good communication when the kids are young. We have to let them know that they can come to us rather than pushing them away because they may have some different ideas than us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why, some children, they will go to the opposite direction because they don't feel comfortable to tell the parents how they feel, and they want something different than what the parents believe. But, I feel like it's way completely left to not allow children to just be themselves. I mean,
Yeah, you have to, and you have to have enough an open communication. And this is what I tell a lot of people. Even if you're shocked of the questions they're asking, even if you're like like your legs buckle, whatever, just don't give in. Pretend like it's not happening to you. Pretend like that's not your kid and answer the questions. Now, for me, I have always had a very open communication with my children. And when my daughters needed some questions answered, but they didn't want me to be the one answering their questions, they asked me if I could take them to an OB friend of mine that they had some questions for her and they wanted to go see them. And this is in high school. And I said, of course, we can go see them. And I left them in the room with you know, my OB. She's a very nice lady. And they talked to her for hours individually, right? And that's on them, whatever they talked about. I was very happy because they came to me and I took them to someone that I trusted, that I knew was going to give them the right answers to whatever questions they had. To this day, I don't know what questions they had because it's confidential. But I was
mhm.
happy that, and very, very proud of them because they came to me first. And I didn't. I was kind of like, well, what kind of questions? I can answer questions, but I understood that I had to remain calm and take them, whatever they needed to do to get those answers, and not just rely on somebody else's parent or somebody, a friend, or just the internet. Like I wanted them to have that one-on-one, and they're it's a good thing to do for your kids. Or even sometimes, like, I've had friends of my children that have asked me certain questions, and the first thing I do is like, you know what, let me get back to you on that one, and then I contact the parent. Your daughter
Exactly.
just asked me this, so if you want, you can open that door. I don't know if you want me to answer, or I'm just letting you know so that if you want, you can answer that for her. Or if you need help, I can always guide you somewhere to get the help that you need. But you know your daughter or your son just asked me this. I don't answer it because it's not my place. You know what I mean?
And that's true, Nexi. And Miss Nancy said something that I believe in that very strongly. It's very good advice taking ourselves out of the equation and really listening to our children, because many times you just look at your child like they're little babies, right? Oh, they're babies. What are they talking about? But you still have to see them, now they're adult or they're about to be an adult, and you have to give them the freedom to speak how they feel. And it may be different from how you feel, but you have to give them respect as well, that they're going to be an adult sooner. They are an adult and they have to make their own decisions.
Mhm. Exactly, exactly. But you have to make sure that they're asking the right person the questions that they have in mind. And for me, it was kind of like a GYN. Oh, okay. You know, it was kind of like, I don't know about this. They're growing too fast. But I
Mm,
understood that, and I've always been like this, and I've said this to you before, is that I keep my cool because I don't want them to go or not come to me for anything else, because I always feel like if I overreact or if I give the wrong reaction to whatever it is that they're asking, they may never come to me again for a question that important. So I always try to keep my cool. And then, now they're grown now, they're adults, but I know that, grandkids are coming along. So I'm sure I'm going to have the grandkids asking questions too. But you have to remain calm and try to answer as best you can. And if you don't have the answer, always make sure that you tell them, I don't have it right now. You put me to think, but let me see what I can do. And again, that goes across the way, Marlene. It should go to teachers, it should go to everybody. To be on the alert, to be on the lookout for those little ones that need answers, that have questions that need answered.
yeah. And what my dad used to say? Well, he says, I think that's a lady's question. That's a question for a lady. It's not a question for a daddy. So let daddy go and talk to somebody, and then I'll get back to you. Like if it made him feel weird or strange. And now that I am older, now I can understand, because there are certain things that, a father can't answer, or there's certain things
Mhm.
that a mom or or aunt or a grandmother can't answer because they're not a man. So you should have people in your life, if it's not a relative or a friend or somebody, a professional that you respect, that you can say, here, I'll let them
Mhm.
answer it for me because I'm not sure. For me, that shows maturity. And I didn't grow up in that environment where anything like that would have ever happened. And I make sure that with mine, if I don't know something, I have no problem with saying I don't know, but I'm going to find out. Or let me go ask my brother, or let me go ask another health professional that I trust. I have no problem with saying I don't know something.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And for
You know,
me, I felt that it was important to make sure that they understood that if I wasn't available for certain questions that they had, somebody else that they could go to, that they had another person they could trust that was going to give them the correct answers to their questions, because you cannot just ask anybody for for those questions, right? So, but it is, again, it comes down to your observations, how you're looking at them, the way they're moving around you. Make sure that, they are protected from the wrong people answering those questions.
Exactly, Miss Nexie, exactly. And conversations like this, I think, are so important to discuss things like this. I know that it's uncomfortable. I know that it's a trigger warning for some, but to all of those who are no longer with us, my condolences. I may not have known you, but I do think and I do pray for those who did not have the support and the love that they needed. But I know that God sees and knows everything, and just wanted to bring some awareness to this topic. Do you have any final words, Miss Nexie?
I just feel that, the more we cover topics like this, the more awareness there is in the world, and the more involvement, there is in the world as well. And the more, like they say, the merrier, right? If we want to change something, we need to start by doing it ourselves. And I am truly, truly sorry for women that have been unalived by this honor unalivings. And I'm sorry that they never found the love, the support, the understanding, and the compassion that they needed to have from the people that were supposed to love them the most. I'm very, very truly sorry if they're no longer here because of a belief or a culture, whatever they have going on. um Honor, I'm very sorry because they didn't get to enjoy, the freedom and the love and understanding that most of us have one way or another in our lives. So that's the only thing I can say right now. I'm sorry, and keep your eyes peeled open. If there's somebody that needs your help, please reach out, help them. That's pretty much it.
Great topic, Miss Nexie. Thank you, as always, for your support for these real conversations. It's really important to bring awareness, and if anybody who feels uncomfortable or they see something, like Miss Nexie said, talk to somebody, report it to the police. Many times, the ones that are involved in this lifestyle cannot get out. They cannot talk to anybody because they're watched with everything. So somebody on the outside that has the ability to do something to maybe save one or more lives, do so. Do
Amen
so.
to that, Miss Marlene. Amen to that.
Yeah. Great topic, Miss Nexie. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me today, Miss Marlene. And thank you, everybody in the chat, for coming over and, listening to us and in this weird trigger topic sometimes, but we appreciate you guys very much.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much to everybody in the audience. Miss Nancy, Boss Life Online, Oliver's, and anybody who's watching in the replay. If anybody has been affected, please reach out, talk to somebody. And if you have had a friend or a loved one that has been, part of this, please reach out, get some help and some support through a therapist, a counselor, but get the support that you need. You don't have to go through this alone. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Love Marlene 411. With every Thursday, me and my wonderful co-host, Miss Nexie, we cover real talk conversations, awareness, and real life situations to bring awareness, support, love, and healing. Because through conversations, we can heal, we can elevate, and we can strengthen one another. So I appreciate every single one for tuning in. Thank you, Miss Nexie.
Thank you, Miss Marlene. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. See you next Thursday.